I felt I need to get my little bit on this whole J Prince situation or whatever, whatever, and give my example of what I think or whatever. I'm right here live on 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Yeah, just came from hanging in Harlem. Shout out to Rod Dollars. Shout out to Rome. It's over here on the east side real quick or whatever, whatever. So, yo, listen, right? Um, Everybody's asked me, because I put up the video and I put up the clip, so I figured I might as well elaborate on it with the whole J Prince situation and the whole thing with him, Quavo, and Takeover. First of all, as far as this comment is concerned, right, there is some type of tension there. The reason I know there's some type of tension there is because pure simply because of the interaction that Quavo and Takeoff had during the Grammys this past Sunday. So that's one. So that clarified everything for us. Let us know that, hey, there is some situation, there is some tension between these two, and it might possibly be the reason why these guys, before the death of Takeoff, you actually saw this group split up, and they became two different fractions. So first of all, shout out to those guys or whatever, whatever. But there was some friction between Offset and Quavo during the Grammys. Cardi B had to intervene. I've got the clip. I'm gonna put it up for y'all in a little bit or whatever, whatever. Y'all just give me, like I said, it's early morning. Shout out to Rod Dollars. Shout out to Rome. Shout out to everybody that came out tonight or whatever, whatever. My bad boy brothers. Shout out to y'all Uptown Rome. Happy birthday. But I think what the problem was the timing. You understand what I'm saying? The timing. Like, you have to realize this clip was released, I think, on a Saturday night, and everybody got wind of it doing Sunday. So after Sunday, basically the whole damn vibe was followed into whatever, and that Sunday night's Grammy freaking presentation. And even though that was, you know what I mean, whatever it was, still remains a fact. It was hell of a timing. I mean, if you would have said it a week earlier, I think you would have got a pass, JPRINCE. And I ain't trying to be rude. I know you got reach, but I'm here in the New York City tri-state. I don't know. I know real Italians. We got them here, you know. But I have no problem with JPRINCE. I don't want to judge him or anything like that. But I do want to send out the simple fact that, hey, man, you waited at the wrong time to do this. You really did. I think it was somewhat calculated from some source or another. I do believe that. I do believe that somehow or another it was concocted to, I don't know, man. It's like at one token, JPRINCE, I guess I can understand why some of these guys are like saying you're giving them your peach to kiss, because the statements you're making, it's not very smart to come out and say, hey, listen, your own brother didn't mess with you when you was alive. I just don't think it's very smart to do that, especially on the eve when this dude is doing a tribute to the same individual that was murdered. And many people will say he was murdered under your watch. The first person that's been touched under your watch. I heard you on Gilly's podcast, and you even said the same thing. You reiterated the same words. He said, this is under my watch. This is the first person that went down. So I understand that. But JPRINCE, you got to understand that your elder years, which you're reaching, we all got a birthday. Including myself, I have one day too. In your elder years that you're reaching, people demand more from you. They demand a lot more from you. And what they deliver, what you deliver, give me 1 second, guys. It's a train pass. Give me 1 second. 1 second. What people expect of JPRINCE is, what they expect is they expect protection. They expect protection, and that's where it comes the monarchy of check in when you come to Texas, check in when you come over here, check in when you come over there. Now I'm going to reiterate some other words that I heard from Charleston White, and I'm going to say it like this. And it made sense when he said it. Charleston White, he actually lives in Texas. I'm not going to sit here and defend his character or anything like that, but I got him on what he said. He said, oh, listen, when Justin Bieber or anybody else or whatever that's white comes down here to Texas, they ain't got to check in. Why everybody black and Latino got to check in? You understand? So what I think is the problem here is, JPRINCE, is you'd have been elevated with times accordingly to where they are. And naturally that comes with a separation of generations. You understand? And I don't think that he's a bad man or whatever the case may be, but I think he's trying to save face. And I get it. You're trying to save face because you got a 30-year plus reputation to put on hand, JPRINCE. Let me tell you what I think you should do. I think you should move away from doing any type of interviews further on. You know, Offset said, yo, you've done this is like the 5th interview you've done. You've got to stop doing interviews, because the more you do interviews, the more these talkative types, it makes you look crazy. It makes you look guilty. They at that point want to have some type of conversation with you. They want to find out the fizz. They want to find out the gossip. You know how these fuckers run. And so you need to stay away from it. Now, Gilly and all those guys, I don't think Gilly, that's the crazy. Gilly doesn't have to do that. Gilly's already solidified. You know what I mean? Shout out to Philly. Shout out to Gilly, Germantown, all them niggas out there. Gilly's already certified. His brother's already certified. He did the time, came home. So I don't think Gilly needs the propers. But this is the point of everybody clipping and pointing this message and putting it up on their timelines and everything like that is very dangerous. Because what it signifies is, and I don't think Jay Price thought this, but what it solidifies is, and it's against what you hold under doctrine, it's making people look like they're separate from each other. You understand? It's like, you won't have that ferocity, and you won't go that ferocity, and I hate to say this, and I hate if it sounds racist, but you won't have that ferocity when it comes to going to white folks, but you'll have that ferocity and that vindictiveness when it comes to dealing with Latin and black folks. And that's the problem. That's the problem. And I think, 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second, y'all. Don't go nowhere. I just let the subway. Let the subway pass. I think that's one reason why a lot of people are confused with the statement. I think that's one reason why a lot of people are confused with the action or whatever. So I just say to JPRINCE this: don't do no more interviews, Papa. Don't do no more interviews. Don't try to make anybody else make you look like you're innocent more than what you are, etc., etc., etc. I don't think you should do it. The reason I say I don't think you should do it is because of this simple fact: a lot of people already preemptively got in their mind that you're guilty. You understand? And the more that you talk, JPRINCE, the more and more you make statements like that, the more and more it points in the direction of most people, the majority of people, that you might be guilty somehow or some way. So, Papa, I'm just saying to you, 30 years in the game, I respect you to the utmost, but you need to fall back. You need to fall back. This is not going to end very well if you continue to talk to those cameras, you continue to talk to these podcasters or whatever. And I'm exemplifying Gilly and his brother Wallow, because I don't think they had a part in this. I think there was this tip, it was just there. I commend them for not editing the video footage and leaving it live and letting everybody see what they were seeing and hearing what they were hearing or whatever. And to a lot of people, I hate to say it, JPRINCE, it sounded like you was threatening that boy. And you don't want to threaten that kid if the situation is this: his brother has died. You understand? So that's the problem right there. And I think with JPRINCE, I think one of the most fundamental things is so many people look up to you. So many people look up to you. They feel like if they come to Texas and they want to drive or they want to move, they're protected, because JPRINCE said so. And you don't want that moniker to leave based off one little solo situation by a road. You understand? This guy was a road. He wasn't with nobody. From what JPRINCE saying, what other people say, he wasn't with nobody. So my words is this: JPRINCE, please stop talking to YouTubers. Please stop talking to the media about the situation before it deviates into something else. The other thing I would say is, so many of us love and respect JPRINCE as a motivator, as a phenomenal figure in hip-hop music industry, and I don't want to take that away from him, but hey, bud, you made a mistake, you know, and it was bound to come. After 30 years, you can't have a straight street. Right now, you got to do the PR work to clean it up. And the PR work doesn't include, I hate to say this, JPRINCE, it doesn't include shooting out threats and telling people, yo, what I should have done and all that stuff or whatever. Right now is not the time to play tough guy. Right now is the time to play empathetic guy, okay? And the way you're moving from throwing the flowers, this anywhere, down there in Georgia, for the way that you approached the funeral, from the way you said what you said on Gilly and them's podcast and numerous other podcasts before, the way that you may think that you're saying what you're saying and the way people are taking it are two different ways. And you got to be aware of that, my friend. All right? So I say this from, give me 1 second, guys, don't hang up. Give me 1 second. I say this to you, J Prince from New York City. I was with my bad boy family tonight, you know what I'm saying? Some people happy with me, some people ain't. I'll be wilding sometimes, but that's what's gonna bring my personality to a bowl. So I just say to J Prince, please, my friend, stop talking to the media, stop talking to YouTubers, and let things fold out the way they're supposed to fold out. Let things say the way Quavo said, excuse me, not Quavo, the way Offset said the things will fall out. Give him a call, talk to him in person, and let the whole thing be over with. That's the best thing to do. I don't think continuing this and having an argument about the shit and hopping on podcasts and all that, whatever is the answer. So shout out to J Prince, revered, respected, etc., etc., etc. And I just want to say to you, stop talking to the media, Papa. It ain't gonna work. The way you're doing it is an old school way of doing it. I understand where you're coming from. I understand what you're trying to do. But right now, it looks like you had something to do with that boy's death. And the more you feed them in and give them fuel to talk about, the more and more and more they're gonna try to utilize it for their better means and for their views and everything else. And before I get off here, I just want to talk about one more thing. Tonight, I had the opportunity to be with some of my bad boy brothers, altogether about 4 of them. We were celebrating with our other bad boy brothers happy birthday, so I want to tell him happy birthday to him. Shout out to him, Uptown Sarone, West Side, you already know. But anyway, long story short, I want to say, you know, my network and my channel I built on my own, and I built it by saying honesty. And I know the way that people on YouTube work. I know the way people on social media in general work. There's a lot of trolls and everything else. So my motto is, let's start trolling the trolls. You understand what I'm saying? So if you a troll and you come on the page and you talking about somebody that I love and I care about or whatever, I'm gonna go at your fucking neck. And I know that some people, they don't like when I do that. And I'm sorry and I apologize. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna remove myself from the whole set or whatever. I don't particularly need help anymore because I'm already beaten. You understand what I'm saying? I got more views than you got. I got more subscribers than you got. And on my channel, I can frankly say whatever the fuck I want to. So I just want to say, I understand to my friend, I love you, I care about you, and I've known you since basically we were kids. So I don't want to make no mistake about it or whatever the case may be. You are family. But I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want to on this page right here. So I'm going to put my concentration on this page, making this page pop or whatever. And to any of my bad boy brethren that I might have offended or whatever the case may be, I'm sorry. I want to say shout out to Rod Dollars. He invited me to his home tonight. Went through his home, met his lovely wifey. You know what I'm saying? We had a good time over there. It was a good time in general tonight here in Harlem. We stayed in Harlem. So shout out to all of them or whatever. It was good seeing you boys. We took some good pictures and put them up or whatever. But just know, y'all know I'm a wild card. I've always been a wild card. I'm going to continue to be a wild card, probably. You know what I mean? And I'm glad we at least had the discussion of, yo, you know what, P, you are who you are. I respect who you are, but you got to respect who we are. But make no mistake about it, Sean Prez, Rich Dollars. You will find out in due time that these people that are online and these people that are sitting there and they're on these social media sites or whatever, what you're going to find out is they have a certain temperament that they fall by. And if you don't watch out for the temperament that they fall by, you will fall victim to it. And a lot of people will utilize, and I'm going to start doing lives on the street to prove my point, that a lot of people know. A lot of people will go to people's website, and many of y'all know as my subscribers, a lot of people will go to people's podcasts and things like that, and they will tell complete, utter lies. You understand? And they will tell these lies. Give me 1 second, guys. They will tell these lies, and many of y'all familiar with the style. They will tell these lies on whoever's podcast or whatever to gain sympathy. And once they gain sympathy, what they'll do at the end of the podcast, after they got their sympathy plea out, what they'll do is they'll give direction on how to find them online. So whether it be an Instagram post or whatever, just please believe all of it is not real. So a lot of these girls that come on your podcast, a lot of these guys that come on your podcast or whatever, a lot of them are lying. They've never had the experience. They're coming on the podcast and they're lying because they want some views. They want somebody to follow them or whatever. Now for y'all seasoned people, that are on here on YouTube, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about because I've been a victim of it myself. But some people, depending on what, I think it depends on what format you are on social media, like an Instagram versus YouTube. It's two different worlds, you know what I mean? But the sentiment is still the same. So I just want to say to my ex-bosses, you know what I mean, that I worked for years, you know what I mean? Trust me, when I tell you there's some chuck in the air, I'm seeing chicks. Hold on one second, y'all, because I want this to be clear when I say this. I want this to be clear. Just give me 1 second, y'all. When I'm listening to the way chicks specifically are talking in these chat rooms, a lot of these girls in these chat rooms are talking crazy. A lot of these girls in these chat rooms are lying. A lot of these girls in these chat rooms are trying to gain empathy so then they can turn around at the end and be like, yo, listen here, follow my website or follow me on here. I see it on Fresh and Fit. I see it on numerous podcasters that are out there that do lives and they bring somebody on that's a call or whatever. They'll do everything from trying to take over the show. If they're not trying to take over the show, they trying to talk about what they want to talk about or circumnavigate the conversation or whatever. So I'm telling any vlogger that's out there, right? If you get one of these passive aggressive people that come on your vlog and they sit on your vlog or whatever, and they're like, their whole attitude is like, yo, I'm gonna take over the space. I'm gonna start talking about this or whatever. I'm gonna talk about what I want to talk about. If you deal with people like that or whatever the case may be, what you gotta figure out is you're gonna end up arguing with those people. You understand what I'm saying? So what I do is this. I'll say something real snarky to them. They'll say something snarky to me. And then I'll repeat to them like this. Listen, I don't have no further interest in talking to you. Bam, and block them. Because what they're going to do is they're going to try to wow you up, get you to argue with them or whatever. Like, listen, let me give you an example. I'll be over there messing with my ex-boss and Rich Dollars. Hold on 1 second, because I want to give y'all the info. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. It's getting a little loud in New York. It's early morning. I'll be over with my ex-boss and Rich Dollars. They run a little thing. It's called the Official Boys Club. They do relationship advice or whatever. And so there's open calls sometimes. He gets to pick the girls that call in or whatever the case may be. And some of these girls that call in, they plain blatantly freaking lying. You understand what I'm saying? They make up stories and you can tell that they're lying. And it's like, the thing is, it's like, do you call them out or do you let them continue to lie? Because if they continue to lie on the podcast, what happens is the girls that are in there, they gain empathy from. It's mostly females that show up. It's a wide range of demographic of females too. Me personally, I don't want to hear no chick that's 55 years old talking about why she can't get a date. When we're talking about the dating range, we're talking about conception range. So I think personally the focus should be on girls 35 and under or maybe 40 and under conception-wise. Because most men out here don't want to date a woman that is over the conception age and you're trying to have something real with her. That's most men. Now, I'm not saying if you're a man that's already got 3 or 4 kids. I'm talking about if you're a man that don't have no kids, no nothing or whatever, and you listening to auntie sit there and give you conversation about relationships. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear that. So what happens is, give me 1 second, guys. What happens is a lot of times these aunties show up at these podcasts and these women be 50 years old, 55 years old, 60 years old, and they on the podcast and they joining in the conversation telling you how to get a relationship or whatever. Listen, first of all, I don't want to hear nothing about no chick that's 55, 60 years old and you can't find a date. I don't care. You understand? And I'm not trying to say that because I'm being disrespectful. I'm not saying that because I don't think older women are sexy or can be sexy. They absolutely can. But when you look at these women aesthetically, you're going to say to yourself, I can understand why you don't have a date. You don't have a date because you have never taken care of yourself as a woman. You understand what I'm saying? And then, yes, there's a plate and a tear for that. There's a lot of women out here that have not taken care of themselves, that are not Angela Bassett's, that are not Halle Berry's, that are not Angelina Jolie's, that are not Jennifer Lopez's. There's a lot of women out here like that, and a lot of men and a lot of people in general don't want to call it out. Y'all want to give them these beauty marks and talk about, oh, it's self-awareness and all that crap or whatever. We gotta start keeping it in the buck. If you're 55 years old, 60 years old, I don't want your relationship advice on nothing. You shouldn't be giving relationship advice to young girls because you're a failure. You never got married. You live with a house full of animals. You got a job that you hate. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got to really dig in and the trajectory of a lot of these women. You can see it even when they're young nowadays. You're going to be alone. You're not going to have a husband or whatever the case may be. These are the girls that come into these relationship chat rooms. You know what I'm saying? They're bitter, they're mean, they're evil, and they say anything and everything they want to. And then when you say something back to them, they crying and they hollering. So I just want to explain to Rich Dollars. I just want to explain to Sean Prez. I meant no harm or whatever. I love y'all. Y'all know I rock with y'all. You see I say information and everything like that to make sure the shit moves forward. But at the same time, if you don't check them bitches that be in the motherfucking chat room, they will check you eventually. It'll be so many of them that you can't control them. You understand what I'm saying? Because what happens is one of them come in and say whatever the fuck they want, and now all of them figure they can come in and say whatever the hell they want. And once they come in and say whatever the heck they want, right? Once they do that, what happens after that is they turn around, they start bringing friends. You understand what I'm saying? And once they start bringing friends, what happens after that is now they figure every week that you go live, they can come on your podcast, say whatever the fuck they want, do whatever the heck they want, and there's no repercussions. And I say troll the trolls. There was girls in there talking about Creep Squad and all this stuff, asking Rich Dollars about the situation with his daughter. I saw a couple of y'all vloggers talking about that when that happened, whatever. None of your business. So for me personally, every subject out there ain't ready to be talked about. And I know how you vloggers are. So that's why I'm doing this live, and I'm saying it live because people that are seasoned vloggers, and I'm talking about people way more versed than me. I've gathered it over the year and a half. I've been vlogging the malicious, insidious people that be here on YouTube. And I'm telling you, once you make that marker from one social media site to another, the trolls are coming. Oh, they coming. They coming. They're going to tell you everything from I hope your family die to everything else you could think of. And you got to be prepared for it. You got to have thick skin. And that thick skin and trying to ignore them, that's cool too. But ignoring these chicks is different. The chicks are different. The chicks will troll you, and then after that, they will come to your personal inbox. And I just want to say, from the times that I've been on the podcast in the chat room with Sean Prez and freaking Rich Dollars, it's been some very disrespectful women in that chat room. And then when you say something to them, they crying. Oh, why you say that to me? I don't respect all women. I don't believe all women are queens. I think you have to earn that title. I don't think it's self-exalted. I don't think that you can say, hey, I'm a queen. This is say I'm a queen or whatever. What is proving you to be a queen? Why should we respect you? Why should we respect you? What have you done? For all we know, you understand what I'm saying? You could have been a robber. You understand? So I just want to say, give me 1 second, guys. Let the straw pass by. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. I just want to say to you guys, if you're a vlogger and you get these girls, and I specifically, I point out girls because that's all I see that does it. But if you see these girls and they come on your podcast and they're being malicious and they're being mean or whatever, say something to them. The reason they keep doing that same behavior from podcast to podcast is because nobody will say nothing to them. And that's really what they're waiting for. They're waiting for somebody to check them. If you really want to know, they waiting for somebody to check them. They waiting for somebody to say something back to them. If you don't say nothing back to them, what happens is they sit there and they continue the behavior week after week after week after week. So I want to say to Sean Prez, I want to say to Rich Dollars, I'm sorry for bothering some of the aunties, some of them lame bitches, some of them whack ass hoes that be in y'all motherfucking chat room. But them bitches is whack. You understand what I'm saying? And yeah, some of them, a few of them, when they are authentic, I come on there and I say, hey, I think she's telling the truth. Hey, I think she's not lying. But when the bitches is on there lying, and then they got the audacity to give the sob story, and then at the end of it, they want to give their motherfucking social media addresses. Bitch, if you was really in pain like that, emotionally, you wouldn't be giving out. You don't want nobody to follow you. Why would you want people to follow your sob ass story? Nah, you want to sell them some jewelry. You want to sell them some clothes. You want to sell them a silky number 9. And I know the hustle, so it's like, The girls out here, they running amok on social media, and I can't support it. So once again, like I said, I want to apologize to Sean Prez. I want to apologize to OG Rich Dollars or whatever. This will be the second time you don't like me. I'm sorry, man. You know what I mean? I'm on live right now, family. But, you know, I like Rich. I just want to say to you, man, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I apologize. But y'all got to watch these hoes be coming in on these chat rooms, man. These bitches is out of line. Point blank. You can't whoop me. You understand what I'm saying? So why talk tough? Chicks be out here jumping in dudes' faces, and especially online. And if you live in Wichita, Kansas, or fucking Ohio or something like that, why are you talking shit to people that live in New York or whatever? It's really, really crazy. So my only resolve is, I say, for all these cocky, wannabe, self-exaltic bitches, you say something back to them. If they're online and they're attacking you, or they're being cankerous, or they're being insidious, or whatever the fuck that is, and they're being like that in the chat room, they think they can carry on like that, you need to fucking flag them, block them, or say something back to them. And that's what I do. I've got over 15,000 followers. It's not a lot to some people, it's a lot to me. And I can't tell you, if I didn't have give me 1 second, if I didn't have the filters on my social media, and it goes straight to YouTube Studio instead, you'd be surprised the comments I get. I've had women tell me go kill myself. I've had women call me all kinds of names or whatever, more so than fellas. So that's why I'm pointing out to women. I'm talking about women from all different types of backgrounds. Latin, black, white, you name it. So it is what it is. Once again, give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. It's Loud Train. We got a subway over top. Give me 1 second. So one more time, I just said I want to apologize. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. So once again, I just want to apologize. I apologize, Sean Prez. I apologize, Rich Styles. I apologize, Chrome. You know, I'm just going what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna leave y'all podcasts alone, period. Concentrate on my machine. And you know, like I tell everybody, at the end of the day, every motherfucker in the industry gonna want to be interviewed by me. They all gonna want to be on my podcast, and I'm gonna tell every last one of them that didn't want to fuck with me initially, fuck no, fuck you. Anyway, everybody, good morning. I will talk to y'all again, once again, right here in Harlem. You understand? Right here in Harlem, New York, and that's it. I will talk to you guys later. Make sure you hit up the Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. It's also a Cash App right there, so y'all can hook that up. There's also a PayPal link. There's also a GoFundMe link. There's also an Amazon wish list. Guys, make sure y'all hit that up. Social support or whatever. I get that support earlier. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share this, subscribe if it's the first time being here, whatever. And if you're just now tuning in, go back and watch this podcast over. But like I said, once again, I'd like to apologize to Sean Prez. I'd like to apologize to Rich Dollars. I'd like to apologize to Chrome. If I insulted you at all, you know. But I'm going to tell you something. If you don't get control of the cantankerous bitches that be on the fucking podcast telling those fucking lies and making up stories for empathy, and they get a whole bunch of other girls to roll along with them because out of that empathy or whatever, it's going to get out of control. I can tell you that right now. I've had it happen on my page. I've seen it happen on other people's pages. I've seen these girls come in and they tell blatant fucking lies on people's podcasts and then have the capacity at the end of it to leave a link where to find them on Instagram, or you can find me on Facebook. Do you mind if I plug my album? Do you mind if I plug my book? Do you mind if I plug my business? I'm like, if you're there and you really got so much pain going through you, why the fuck are you telling somebody to follow you on Instagram or whatever? So if you don't get the gist of the game, I don't know what to tell you, but these girls are running circles around men. And a lot of men are sitting back and they're letting that old school empathy from like the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s overwhelm them in 2023. And I'm here to tell you, if you're using that empathy that you had from the early 2000, late 90s to serve you, as far as like dealing with women in 2023, you're gonna be sadly mistaken. Guys, other than that, make sure y'all follow me right here. Give me 1 second here. I'm sorry about that. I'm extremely tired, y'all. Give me 1 1 second. Guys, make sure you follow me. Make sure you hit the like button here. Make sure you hit up the Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. Throw me a little $30, $40, something like that. Show some support for this channel, whatever. J Prince, please don't do any more freaking interviews. This is your 6th interview now. I think the timing in which you insulted Offset with this whole debacle or what happened to Takeoff, Arthur's Piece, and Soul. I think it was bad timing, dude. Bad timing. If you're just out tuning in, make sure you go back and watch this from the beginning. I will talk to you guys later. Make sure you hit up the Cash App. Love you guys. Talk to you later.